Greetings. Welcome to another video. Most of you have probably gathered by now that I like to talk a lot about living. And though it is sometimes, I guess, a bit unbecoming of us to think on living, at least in a deep sense, I don't think it any more worthwhile not to think about living, at least in some sense, because if we're not consciously thinking about our lives, then what are we doing? Can we honestly say to ourselves that we're living in the best possible way? Well, I know for certain that in order to live well, you must know how to live. And so I'm coming at this video with an express intention that there are things in life that are important. And it would be a bit naive of me to presume that I know what is most important, but I'm going to claim that I know what is most important. And I derive this truth from my faith. Now, if you happen not to be a person of faith, no worries. I think that this still holds true all the same. But I just think it worthwhile to acknowledge that the root of this truth is in Christianity or in the teachings of Christ. So I actually have my Bible handy, and I'm going to read from 1 Corinthians starting in chapter 13, verse 1. And this is the King James Version. It says, "Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have not charity, I am become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains, and have not charity, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing." Now, charity in this context means love. And so, the straightforward conclusion or answer to the title of this video, what is that most important thing? It is love. But I fear that, or I'm concerned that most people don't actually know what love is. And to express the significance of it, I think that it is important to define it. And we can begin doing this by saying at least what love is not, because I think that love is one of those things that's confused. Firstly, in the English language, the word love is used in various contexts. And this makes it a bit tricky and confusing to really understand what is the most precise and appropriate meaning for it. I think that we can all agree that there is a precise and appropriate meaning that is intense, that is deep, and that is almost undefinable. That love is the most pure and intense and true love, right? So to use a brief illustration, suppose you say you love pizza, right? Compare that to I love my mother or I love my wife. Obviously, the love that you're using in each of those contexts don't mean quite the same thing. You're expressing that you have an admiration or affection or a like for something, right? And that's what they have in common. But what they don't have in common is the level of intensity of the admiration, affection, or liking, right? And so I want to talk more so about this love, this true love that is intense, like the sort of love you would have for a passion, for a life purpose, for your faith or your God, for your family, a loved one, etc., right? So it is fair to say that love is not an emotion. It is not merely a feeling. It is not something that is shrouded in romance or in daydreams of fantasies. It's not merely a sensation. Love is a choice. Let me say it again. Love is a choice. Love is not something that you simply fall victim to and you have no say whatsoever in whether it affects you or not, okay? We often use the phrase, I fell in love, or I fall in love, or I'm falling in love with something or someone. And it sort of implies that we literally fall into something as though we have no choice and we have no ability to stop it, right? But that's not how true love works. True love is unconditional, okay? And if you are a Christian, then you know that true love is God, for God is love. Love is God and God is love, right? If you're not a Christian or if you're not a person of faith, the most important thing for you to understand is that love is conscious. Love is not something that simply befalls you or something that simply whisks you away on a fantasy, on a rainbow, or anything like that. It's truly, it's a transformation of the self, but one that takes place because the self initiates it. And that's what I mean by love is conscious. And so whether you're a person of faith or not, you can at least acknowledge that the love that you have towards a person or towards something, towards anything, is fully within the realms of your capability, of your choice to either will or not to will towards it. Okay. Now, the reason that I read that portion from the Bible in 1 Corinthians is because I have found that we value so many things above love. And it sounds cliche to say that love is the most important thing in life, but let me put it this way. And let me be fair, this is not an original idea of mine. I'm only explaining something that has already been explained for thousands of years, okay? I'm just going to put it another way. So we have plenty of intelligent people in this world. Intelligence is important. We have plenty of powerful people in this world. Power is important. We have plenty of people in this world who have authority and who have gifts. We have plenty of people who have knowledge and wisdom. We have plenty of people who have abilities to literally shape and shift the mindsets and the circumstances of billions of people in the blink of an eye, okay? We have plenty of great, wonderful things and great, wonderful people. But all of these great, wonderful things and all these great, wonderful people, in the absence of love, is worth nothing. And that is the idea that the Apostle Paul was trying to get across in this passage in the Bible, is that we can do all of these great and wonderful things, but if we don't prioritize that thing which is most important, which is love, which is, if you're a person of faith, God, then all of it's for nothing, all right? Because you have to think of it like this. This is also sort of bleeding into my philosophy of love. And that is that I believe that the object of love should never be treated as a means to an end. It should be treated as an end in itself. And so to demonstrate what I mean by this, let's put it this way. If you love a person, you should never use that person as a means to profit or to gain or to benefit. It should never be selfish. It should never be with the intent of achieving something other than simply loving that person. Because if you simply love that person, you're treating them as an end in their self. And in that sense, you're sincere and you have true love for that person, and it's unconditional and it is a choice. But if you, instead of that, simply love that person with the intention of using them for some personal gratification or gain or profit, then it is not sincere. And although it is still a choice, yeah, it is not a good choice because it's not true love. You see what I'm saying? Like as soon as you stop treating the person as an end in their self, when you treat them as a means to an end, it's no longer even love. And so I think that most of the world's problems are due to a lack of love, a lack of compassion, a lack of charity, a lack of empathy, just a lack of love, a lack of caring. People do not love each other enough, and it's sad. It's really sad as a young person growing up in this world to see adults who behave like children, who can't engage in civil discussions, who go about living life as though they hate everything. And they probably do. They probably hate their own lives. And if that happens to be you, I hope that this video has shed some light onto what I, again, assert to be the most important thing in life. That love is a choice. It's unconditional. Love is God and God is love. And you can have anything. You can have riches, you can have treasures, you can have glory and fame and skills and knowledge and wisdom and power and authority. You can have any and everything. But if you don't have love, it's not worth anything. It's not worth anything. So, thanks, guys.